Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to the Libra Lounge with Keisha. I hope all you moms out there had a fantastic Mother's Day. I know that I did. James and producer James and Skylar gave me a pretty laid back but very sweet Mother's Day weekend. But I tell you what, I had to pop off a couple of times, and here's why. We are still living in the days of COVID-19, also known as coronavirus. And you say, hey, you know what? I want to go to this place or that place. Things are opening back up, blah, 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 blah. So you pick out a restaurant to go to and you drive up there, and for fuck's sake, it's still closed, okay? I don't want curbside food anymore. I want to go in, especially a Mexican food restaurant. It's not the same if you can't go in and have chips and queso and a margarita. And not to mention, the damn movie theaters are still closed. I don't get it. To me, that would be a pretty easy place to do social distancing at. That was also my other favorite place to get a margarita. So I guess I'm just not going to have any margaritas until all of this goes away. And so on Saturday, I'd actually told producer James some of the places that I wouldn't mind going to go eat. And lo and behold, according to him, they were all closed. But you know what was open? One of his favorite restaurants. So that's where we went and ate. And actually, I'm going to be talking about one of the places that we visited during our Bitch Please segment. Before we go into the gab, I want to make sure you guys are following us on all social media platforms. Follow us on Instagram at The Libra Lounge with Keisha. And you can also like us on Facebook. I'm on the Twitter, although I don't tweet very often. The concept of Twitter still confuses me quite a bit, but I do get on there every now and then, okay? Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to us on iTunes, and you can also listen to the show on the TuneIn app, Laughable app, and iHeartRadio. I always like saying that I'm on iHeartRadio. Literally, when I meet people, I'm like, hi, my name's Keisha. I'm on our iHeartRadio. It's like my claim to fame. It's like my Oscar, my Emmy, something like that. It makes me feel important. I'm going to start rolling up to clubs whenever clubs open back up and going straight up to the bouncer and say, I'm on iHeartRadio. And I know he's going to let me go straight through. He's going to let me pass everyone else up. Alrighty, if you're a friend of the Libra Lounge, you know what time it is. It's time for the gab.
We know she has a really big mouth, which sounds kind of dirty, and that's probably true too. Let's gossip. The Gab with Keisha.
So we are in, what month are we in? We are in the 5th month of 2020. How has it only been 5 months? This feels like it has been 12 years. I'm still getting used to going outside. I was really on house arrest for a good month and a half because I have lupus, so my immune system is suppressed. So my mom and producer James like, nope, you sit your ass right down over there. We'll do all the outings. When I finally said I had enough, I was going to either CVS or Walgreens. I was like, what the hell? Why are there things on the ground with feet telling you where you should stand? And why is the guy behind a glass thing like we're at a gas station in Compton? What is going on? What is this it's the new norm, I guess. But in my naivete, we went to Hobby Lobby, and I was so happy. I hadn't been to Hobby Lobby in a whole, like, almost 2 months. And when I saw it, I actually screamed, I'm coming home. I'm home. I'm one with my people. It was very odd to go in Hobby Lobby because when you go in Hobby Lobby, there's always going to be some, you can tell Richie kind of housewives decked out with their blonde hair, rolling up in their Range Rover with their Louis Vuitton and Tory Burch sandals on. But no one looked cute that day. We all looked like we were from the same hat, no nails, no eyelashes tried. No one looked cute. So we had picked out a table that we wanted to take. So instead of carrying it around, we put it up front. So when we finally went to check out, I was making sure that we got the table, and I kind of cut in between an aisle to get back in line. And this lady just like gave me this shitty look. And I'm like, what the hell is her problem? And she turned around and again gave me a shitty look. I must have been sick that day, hungry, blood sugar was low, because I didn't cuss her out. I was just really perplexed. I'm like, what is going on? Then we walk up to the actual register, and I was standing too damn close to the bitch. I didn't know. To me, if there's a cart in between the two of us, that's enough fucking room, okay? If I'm not coughing or sneezing, we're good. But it's just having to get used to all of these new rules. It's crazy. I actually went to a grocery store for the very first time Sunday, and I'm just like, wow, this is some crazy, crazy shit. But enough about COVID. Let's talk. Well, kind of going to talk about it. We're going to go over some of the celebrities who have passed away in 2020 and what I would have expected to be the way that they died. Completely opposite of how they died. All right. So let's start off with Little Richard. Little Richard's cause of death has not been reported, but it's supposed to be of natural causes. All right. But in my head, if I had to bet the way that Little Richard would have died, it would have been hanging from a chandelier while playing the piano and having gay sex. That's what I would have. That's when, to me, that would be appropriate for Little Richard. He would go out with a bang and a swing. It just makes sense.
That's hilarious. Just the idea that he's hanging from a chandelier.
Wop a baloo bop, a wop bam boom. Yes.
Yeah, I would have thought something. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Something gay related, I guess.
Not just gay, but flamboyant, because that was Little Richard.
Yeah, very Little Richard-y.
Yes. Yeah. Next we have Kirk Douglas, who died at the age of 92. In my mind, Kirk Douglas, father of Michael Douglas, would have died of a heart attack and then drowned because his head fell into a bowl of soup. That is how I would picture Spartacus going out.
Just an old man
Just
dying.
An old man way. Just, boop.
Just
and a bowl of soup.
Straight into his Ovaltine.
And a bowl of chicken noodle soup. All right, now this one's crazy. Andre Harwell, who was one of the founding fathers of Uptown Music, who is responsible for a lot of careers, including P. Diddy, Mary J. Blige. From my understanding, he was having issues with his heart. In my mind, if I had to guess how Andre died, it would have been he was in the middle of a gang war and got shot. That's just me, though, all right? Moving right along, Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers passed away. He passed away during the early stages of the coronavirus when everyone was just like, we can't breathe on Earth. I would think that Kenny Rogers would have died while having plastic surgery by the same plastic surgeon who does Dolly Parton, because he said, Dolly, please tell me who did that work for you. I must go see him. That is how I figured Kenny Rogers died. But to add on to that, while he was getting plastic surgery, the same plastic surgery that would eventually take his life, he told them that they had to play all of his music during the whole process.
See, I would have thought plastic surgery, but they finally tightened his face where it just pulled off. His skin just pulled off of his face, and he died of an infection.
That probably would have. That was close to happening with his face, whether he was going under the knife again or not. Kenny Rogers had become almost unrecognizable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, have you ever taken a plastic bag and just twisted it?
That was him.
And it finally just popped?
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Or, if you have a little thing of bubble wrap, you keep twisting it, and then all the bubbles pop. That was Kenny Rogers. If it wasn't his whole face, it was at least his fucking cheeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant. Okay, look. This one's, I'm still sensitive about this one. But being who I am, I know there's going to be times that I have to talk about things that I just don't want to talk to, because Kobe still hurts. We all know Kobe Bryant tragically passed away in a helicopter accident. But if I had to guess how Kobe Bryant died in my world, it would have been from a Donkey Kong punch upside the head by Shaquille O'Neal. That is how I would have seen Kobe Bryant dying.
See, I figured at the age of 95 into sleep. That's what.
No, he could be 95, but it was still going to be with a Donkey Kong punch from Shaq. It just was. That is how I see it. Jerry Stiller, who passed away just yesterday or 2 days ago.
Earlier this week.
Yeah. I think that Jerry would have passed away meeting the parents.
During the filming of another Meet the Parents?
Probably so. He was going to be in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers.
Yep.
Then what would that have been? Meet the
Grandparents. I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know.
Meet the Who Gives a Shit About This Third Movie.
True that. Because Meet the Fockers was not funny.
Yeah.
Then we have Roy Horn, who was one half of the show that was Siegfried and Roy. Okay, I think it's pretty fucking obvious what happened. What in my head would have happened to Roy. He would have most definitely have died while having sex with a tiger, and another tiger came and bit his head off.
He doesn't have sex with tigers.
I know, but that's in my head. That's how he died.
That's like saying Batman fucks bats. That's the same.
Yeah. Don't you think that would be a much more interesting way for Batman to die, other than by, I don't know, the Joker killing him or something like that? Something so predictable.
It's crazy about Roy because, I mean, he was attacked by a tiger and
he
survived.
He wasn't ever the same. I don't think he ever performed after that because he was kind of fucked up.
He got, like, dragged off by his neck.
Yeah, and not to mention, those two guys were, like, 150 years old.
They're old.
Yeah, and they were seeing the same plastic surgeon who was working on Kenny Rogers as well.
And they're so strange because I don't know why they don't ever say this, but I mean, they're obviously partners and have been for years and years.
Yeah.
But nothing out there ever says that they're gay, or they never talk about each other in romantic terms. It's always love, but it's never like
that generation. It's same with Little Richard. Little Richard never said he was gay.
That's true.
We just all know that he was. It was from that old school. It can look gay. It can sing gay. It can sound gay, but we don't say it's gay.
It just can't be.
You just don't, because it was a life of secrecy. Because you have to think. I know I was reading up about Little Richard, and his dad kicked him out at age 13 for being too prissy.
Wow.
So these are people that they felt in their minds that they would have died or been killed had they, come out as gay.
That's crazy, especially nowadays.
Not like now, that as soon as you come out the woods, I'm gay, red a rainbow. I don't want that. Put me in a rainbow onesie. It's just completely different. Okay, moving right along, we have Christopher Tolkien, who was the son of J.R.R. Tolkien, the creator of The Lord of the Rings. Clearly, in my mind,
Dragon?
Oh, Christopher would have died by the hands of Gollum at Helm's Deep. Okay? Now, I don't know how he really died, but that's how he should have died, my precious. Okay. Phil Withers, who wrote the song Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. I don't know what he thought of, but to me, he probably died. Why? From lack of vitamin D. Because ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
I hate you
he gets
so
no vitamin
much
D.
right now.
All right. So.
God damn.
I think it makes perfect sense.
That's a beautiful, beautiful stretch you just did.
I think it makes absolutely perfect sense in every form of the way. God damn. Next, we have Miss Minnie, star of The Little Wives of Hotlanta. This one still hurts, too. I even watched the live streaming of her funeral on Saturday.
Oh, you did?
I did. Very cute. It was a pink casket. It was really cute.
Aww.
Minnie died in a car accident. But in my mind, Minnie would have died from trying to walk on stilts and hit a curb and fell over and died.
Wait, so was she walking on stilts, like, dressed as a normal-sized person?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
a fucking Scooby-Doo villain?
No. So these are all the ways in my warped mind, this is how all of these people would have passed away. Before we move on with the Gab, I wanted to remind you guys that every Monday on Instagram and Facebook, I will post mommy confessions. Look, I follow influencers on social media right now, and there's some of them I really, really like, and I've learned a lot of things from. But it seems to me now, there's always a different trend going on. It seems to me at this very exact point in time that we're in, that in order to be an influencer, One, you need to be white. You need to be a certain size. You must be married. And you must have like 5 fucking kids. They all have 5 kids. I guess I'm never going to be an influencer if that's the case. Because I know 5 kids? What? Some of them are even adopting. It is like a competition amongst them to who's a better mom. I have to be the better mom because I have the most kids. Plus, I'm doing all of this other stuff. I was like, I don't, is this, do they get together and say, these are the new rules, you've got to have 3+ kids to be an influencer? I don't know, but I ain't doing it. But you know me, I'm going to keep it real about mommyhood. It's a hood that is sometimes okay, and it's a hood sometimes it's just like a fucking crack den. You know, you just never know what you're going to get. So every Monday, I put up a mommy confession. You can find it on the Instagram story, or you can go to the highlights on my Instagram page and see past mommy confessions. I think this week we talked about me and it's just baby weight. And, you know, the baby turns 18 in 2 weeks. How fucking dare her? Who told her to grow up? 18? Can you believe it? 18? You've been around since she was 4.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, a few months ago, because she's all into this. You know how it is when you're 18, you start thinking about when you're going to move out, what kind of place you want. And she was like, oh, gosh, I'm going to get a loft. I'm like, okay. But then this bitch had the audacity to say she was going to take Marvel, our Shawini, to live with her. I was like, you're not taking Marvel. She's like, what do you mean? He's my dog. I'm like, this is the only home he's ever known, and he will be looking for us. You're going to have to do like a single dad situation. You're going to have to pay child support. You're going to have to pay for his schooling, pay for his training, pay for him to go to the groomer, and you can see him on Thursday evenings and the weekends, every other weekend.
Yeah, you told her no. I stood up and clapped.
About he hates Marvel.
I just hate the dog pissing on everything we
puppy.
own.
He's a baby.
He's over a year old.
Whatever. That's still puppy. A year-old baby is still a baby. He's a baby. That's why I call him Baby Marvel. Moving right along. Speaking of Marvel, have you guys seen Chadwick Boseman lately?
That's a great segue you just made.
It really, really was.
That was good.
And I did that on the spot. I'm getting so good at this podcasting thing. I might be famous one day. So Chadwick Boseman, however you say it, we call him T'Challa, Black Panther. He posted an Instagram or a tweet a couple of weeks ago. I want to say it was something about making a donation. All I know is that the internet went crazy because this boy, and I'm not trying to be rude, disrespectful like I normally am. This is straight just the shocking look that he has. He looked like he had stage 4 cancer and had been going through chemo and radiation, and they finally came back and said, it's incurable. You've got like a week to live. That is how he looked. He was nothing but skin and bones. His eyes were soaking in. What is that how you say it?
Sunken
in. He looked nothing like T'Challa. I was like, he can't even play like one of the poor people in Wakanda looking like that. He was skin and bones. So of course everyone's like, what is he? What's going on with him? And no one knew. But I finally, which by the way, as soon as you're done with the podcast, Google search this so you can see how fucking bad he looks. To me, instead of posting that video, even though he was doing a very charitable thing, he should have got a stunt double to do that for him because he looked horrible. But it turns out he's lost weight for a role. He's going to be in an upcoming Spike Lee movie, and he's going to be playing a Vietnam veteran. I think the concept of the movie is they're going back to Vietnam to find the remains of some of their, platoons? Is that what they were in? Groups?
Yeah.
Corps?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
yep.
Close enough. Okay,
yeah. So that is why he's supposed, I'm thinking to myself, okay, that makes sense. Is the character addicted to heroin? Because he reminds me of Nicole Richie when she like almost died those few times after the Simple Life went off the air and she just, was shooting up daily. He was nothing but skin and bones wrapped in black. It just looked bad. It looked like someone on their deathbed. It really, really did. we'll actually post a picture up on our Instagram and Facebook pages so you guys can see it. But here's my thing, Chadwick. If you ever do this again, if you decide to, he's not one of those people who's really big on social media. So if you decide to ever make a social media post and you don't look exactly like how you did in Black Panther, don't do it. Just do a voice thing. Get a puppy, have the picture of the puppy showing the entire time while you're in the background talking. Just think Morgan Freeman. That shit was scary. I thought the boy was really dying.
Well, Christian Bale did one of those extreme,
and that's how he looked
for The Machinist.
Yes.
He got down to 120 pounds.
Well, Chadwick looked like he weighed 50.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then had the audacity to still have a goddamn full beard. I'm like, really? No. But I'm glad to read that he's not sick, but he actually did this for a role. I hope they paid him extra. I don't know, and I hope it's a good movie. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. Boy, look bad. He just looked bad. You guys all know that I am a 13-year-old girl at heart, and it would not be shocking to any of you that I'm a huge fan of the Twilight series. I've read all the books. I've seen all the movies. I saw all of the movies on opening night. At the school that I used to be a social worker at, I had Twilight Book Club. I've got all the action figures that producer James bought me. I love Twilight to the day I die. And I still hate Bella Swan. Anywho, Stephanie Myers, the author, has just released that after so many fucking years, she's finally releasing the prequel to Twilight, which is The Midnight Sun. Now, someone gave me, it was a long time ago, they gave me the first, who gave me this? Now I'm like, who gave it to me and what did I do with it? They gave me the first few chapters of The Midnight Sun, which is the Twilight story told from Edward's perspective. And I read it and it was really, really good. But how did I get that? I probably could get money for that right about now. Yeah, so that's actually going to be coming out August 4th. You know, sometimes people will say that Twilight is a horrible movie franchise, and I quickly stopped talking to those people because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But this is going to be good reading right here, The Midnight Sun. Just the thought of it is like, okay, so we're going to get another book. Are we going to get another movie? Do you think those same actors would come back and play those roles?
Well,
a few of them, I know for damn sure they will, because they ain't doing shit else.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how many years do you think it should be between when a movie gets remade? Because to me, there's no point in doing the book like that, because it's the exact same story without it being a reboot.
Right. I don't look at this as a reboot. It is, here's why. Because the Twilight series is told from Bella's perspective. But you kind of could tell what Edward, how he felt about certain things. But I'm kind of curious to see the flip. I don't think it's a remake. I don't think I would call it a remake. It's a prequel.
Well, I mean,
I think it's going to probably start off with more of the backstory of Edward Cullen too.
And that would be a decent way to do, like, if they went into like Star Wars, if you did a prequel trilogy with his, like, starting all the way back with Carlisle, and then work it through till they get to Forks. Right. Maybe that's a good way to kick that off.
Yeah, I think what it is, I don't think that it is going to be the whole play out of Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and then Breaking Dawn. I think it's going to be the prequel, what Edward's life, how it was maybe before he was turned, when he was turned, and then all the way up to Twilight and go through just Twilight book 1.
Yeah, because I mean, how old is Edward in the books?
Oh, he's in his hundreds.
Yeah, so he had to have had other relationships, other things that happened. I mean,
yeah, and we get glimpses of that throughout the book, but not a lot. We know just a small chunk of Edward's life before he was turned, and just slight flashbacks of his life once he was turned. And it was enough of a flashback to know why Edward is the way that he is about things. So I'm gonna read it. You know I'm gonna read it.
Oh, I know.
All right. So when we get back, we're gonna talk about Teen Mom star Leah Messer and her new book. We'll be right back. Sassy Class Boutique is the hot spot for your fashion, beauty, and home decor desires. We celebrate women of all shapes and sizes with our trendy collection of regular and plus-size clothing. Looking for the right accessories? We have upcycled Louis Vuitton handbags, vegan purses, and jewelry to add sass to your class. We also offer health and beauty products from salon-quality hair care to cruelty-free makeup. Our edgy home decor items will make you the envy of all of your neighbors. Sassy Class Boutique also offers custom items like shirts, hats, and other gifts for any occasion. All of our vendors are female-owned small businesses, and together we are Sassy Class Boutique. Located at 3709 Fatter Drive in Dickinson, Texas, 77539. Or shop anytime with us at www.sassyclassboutique.com.
The Libra Lounge with Keisha. The Libra Lounge with Keisha.
Welcome back to the Libra Lounge with Keisha. I'm your host, Keisha. We've got producer James in the studio over there touching buttons and doing things, acting like he's working. I don't know what he does over there. He's got earphones on, he gives me hand signals, and he just does the most, y'all. He has on two sets of ear things right now. That's being just too goddamn extra for me. He has a set on his ears and a set around his neck.
I am your producer. I have lots of things to do just to keep up with the talent that is you.
I'm just glad you remember who the talent is. All right, so last week we spotlighted some local businesses, and these businesses are local here where we are. We're in Dickinson, Texas, which is part of the Houston and surrounding areas. Our spotlight business this week is Couture Cravings, and the owner is Bryant Keith Wilson.
The
Bryant Keith Wilson. I wish I had Morgan Freeman here to give the introduction for the Bryant Keith Wilson. Okay, Couture Cravings is the brainchild of Bryant Keith Wilson. He was inspired as a young boy watching his grandmother Nolene Manafee run her cafe, as well as his mother, who later took over the business. Couture Cravings is a touch of bougie and a tad bit country. We craft special sweets and treats for events, and we even make down-home specialty desserts. Let us make your sweet dreams come true. I'm going to say this, that some of my favorite cookies, okay, are from Couture Cravings. Brian does this crisp chocolate chip with walnuts cookie, and it's just to die for. He also makes a pretty mean peach cobbler. Tea cakes. Oh, yes, the tea cakes are mighty divine as well, but I will say my absolute favorite are those chocolate chip walnut cookies. They're baked to perfection. And sometimes you have something that's crispy and it's not really crispy. It's like it was almost crispy but almost stale. Sometimes it's just fucking hard. But that is not the case here with these cookies. So if you're interested in following the Cake Devo, Brian Keith Wilson, you can check out his Instagram page at Cake Devo, or you can check out his other Instagram page at Literary Prince, or you can go to Facebook and like Couture Cravings. Make sure you tell him that you were sent by the Libra Lounge with Keisha. All right, so MTV is still 100 years later. I mean, Teen Mom seems like it's been on since Edward Cullen's creation. It feels like it's been 100 some odd years.
Since we were teens.
It's been a long fucking time. But I will say this. Teen Mom 2 is still good. Teen Mom Young and Pregnant, which is the newer part of that franchise, was off the chains last season, okay? And the rumor is that show may not be coming back, and I don't understand how that's possible. To me, in my mind, they need to replace Teen Mom OG, which has come down to be an absolute snore fest, even with Amber Portwood and her pill-popping ass trying to hatchet down her baby daddy while he's toting around their baby. It's just not there. I think they need to give it up. But one of the stars of Teen Mom 2, Leah Messer, just came out with her book. And this, I had to read it. And this is the third book by a Teen Mom star that I've read. And I will say, much to my absolute surprise, this book was fucking good. It was really good. I couldn't even finish Macy book. It was just.
She can write?
I don't even know if you can call it writing.
Okay.
But, Macy was is smart, but very boring. She's boring on the show. What makes you think someone who's boring on a reality show is going to write an entertaining or good, juicy book?
It would have to be, like, she couldn't write a book about herself. It had to be like a fiction book.
Well, it was nonfiction, and it was non-entertaining. I couldn't even finish it, okay? Kel Lowry has written 3 books. I think I read the one that is Letters of Love or something like that, and it was okay. I think I need to go back and read the first one, which really tells the story of her life, which is what Leah Messer did here with Hope, Grace, and Faith. Woo! Okay, I don't even know where to start. I'm serious. You don't even have to be a fan of Teen Mom to actually like this book, but it makes it so much better if you are. I've watched Leah since 16 and pregnant, all the way up to where she is now with Teen Mom 2. I've been with her through 2 divorces. I've been with her through 3 pregnancies, a miscarriage, which we found out really wasn't a miscarriage in the book, all the way to her being a pill popper, falling asleep while holding her niece, to where she is now, and she's got her whole life together. She most definitely did a glow up. This book it tells the story of her entire life, and some of the things that happened to her are unfucking believable. When you read all the things that she has gone through, she has started having sex at an early age. She was verbally abused. There was some physical abuse. This kid, by the time she was in high school, they had moved like 30 times. Pretty much the poster child for small town white trash. It was just horrible. This girl was so mistreated in life and was just constantly searching for love in any kind of way because she just wasn't getting it at home. And it's really interesting because we see Leah's mom, Dawn, on the show, and I've always thought, okay, well, Dawn's a supportive mom. Oh, that bitch knows that she owes Leah a lot. She was a horrible mother. Her father was a this is funny. Her father was a pastor, then became a pill-popping alcoholic. Yeah. It goes from her mom actually locking her in a room with a guy to have sex. I applaud her because her backstory is just like, wow. Then of course she goes through how she got to be on 16 and pregnant. Her mom actually, surprise, was the one who filled out the application for she and Corey to be on the show. And of course, MTV wanted to do her story because she was pregnant with twins. And let me see. Up until that point, no, they hadn't had a story of twins. Afterwards, they had, I think maybe 2 other girls had twins, if I'm not mistaken. But anywho, she had twins. And then as we all know, one of those twins, Allie, is special needs. She has muscular
dystrophy or something else.
I think so. Don't quote me on that.
Muscular retardation, something like that.
There's no such thing as that.
Well, if your muscles are retarded.
Like I said, I don't know what he really does over there besides think of stupid shit and say stupid things like that. It tells the story about, how the trial she had to go through to get Allie actually a diagnosis, and how she really was on her own. It was so many things that you hear all the time. These girls say, oh, it's the editing. They didn't even show this. They didn't show that. Okay, after reading this book, I have to say there's some truth to that, because she told us all the things that the camera never even displayed. Like, we had no idea that these were going on. But one of the, I'm going to tell this one because I know other people, it's been leaked out already. When she met her second husband, Jeremy, she was still kind of having feelings for Corey. And we all saw that she did get pregnant by Jeremy and had a miscarriage. Well, she reveals in the book that it wasn't really a miscarriage. She'd had an abortion. So, and the reason why is because, she just felt her and Corey was still talking, and she knew if she had another baby, a baby with another man, that would ruin the chances of her and Corey getting back together, which would break up her family. So her then publicist and her mom got together, concocted a way to get Leah to get to the clinic, take a pill to force an abortion. I tell you, and it was hard to read when she said, there was a lot of bleeding, and she went to the bathroom to try to clean up, and there was clotting, and then she goes, then I could actually see the embryo. She goes, there was a sac that I just thought was another clot, but then I looked closer, it's like a pinkish color, and you could actually see the embryo in there. I was like, holy shitballs. She takes us all the way up to, we don't even get to, we go all the way up to her third baby being born, Addie. It is a good read. It's an easy read, but it is most definitely a page turner. Like I said, if you followed Leah's story from 16 and pregnant to where she is now with Teen Mom 2, you've got to get this book. You can read it easily in a day or 2 days. It's only about 500 pages, but you will thank me for it. It is good. Look, I didn't even know Leah could spell, to tell you the truth. I kind of knew she could spell, but I thought it would be like at a first grade level. So I'm pretty sure, a lot of the times when people write a memoir, don't they work with someone else to kind of get the story out?
Sometimes they'll have an assistant or a ghostwriter or something like that to help them out.
I don't think she had a ghostwriter. Like, it was very detailed. Sometimes you can read a story and you could tell that it was primarily written by someone else. It was almost like that person was storytelling and someone else was documenting it.
Yeah, that happens where somebody writes a manuscript or writes notes and then gives it someone else to actually write it all in together. Structure.
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe from this at all. I really felt like she was sitting down and these were pages out of her diary. It just.
So I got to ask you, because I'm always kind of hard on the teen moms.
Mm-hmm.
I make a lot of jokes, but in this book, does it give you more context around what maybe led her to become a teen mom? Does it kind of? Yeah,
it actually did. So where she was from, being pregnant by 16 and being married by 16 was the norm. She said when she told her mom was like, oh, okay, because she had done it, her grandmother had done it, and the town, she goes, look, wow. The marrying age, it is nothing for someone to be 16, pregnant, and living in a trailer.
Wow.
No big deal. So she figured, okay. And she actually said she thought that her life was just going to be a young wife and be a mom. That was what life was going to be. But in her case, teen mom or 16 and pregnant actually got her out of that situation from living in a small town and just becoming white trash.
Just some dude's wife, basically.
Yeah. So, it answered so many questions. So you go back and you think about all the episodes of Teen Mom 2 and everything makes sense. And you really your heart really breaks for her, the things that she went through. She has every excuse in the world to be fucked up. But she says that, having her girls, which their middle names are Hope, Grace, and Faith, they saved her. And then she talks about how one time she just was like, I could end it all right now. The kids were with their dads, and she's like, I could just keep driving, drive off a cliff, and everything would be over. And she said she literally had to pull over and had a meltdown and thought about her girls, and she told herself that's not what I want. So that is that. Like I said, easy read. Go pick it up if you still actually read books like that you hold in your hand and smells like paper, and you have the ink on it, and you have to turn the pages. And you have to get a bookmark to put it in there to save your page. If you still do that, or you can most definitely go to the bookstore on your Apple phone and get your book. With that being said, good job, Leah Messer, and I am proud of you. You pulled yourself together. There is no manual when you become a mother, and there sure is in hell is not a manual to becoming a teen mom of twins and one of them being special needs. So yeah, I gotta give her props. All right, so we haven't had a bitch please in a while.
True.
But I have one today. All right.
Bitch, please. You be rolling down the street telling stories. Bitch, you never tell the truth. Bitch, please. Everybody know you lying, bitch, cause all you do is lie.
All right, so we're all living in a corona world. That needs to be a theme song, for coronavirus, and
Well, didn't they do like a "We Are the World" kind of thing recently for
Did they?
coronavirus? I think so.
Like-
some kind of song.
like a spoof.
No, I think like a legit.
Oh no, we need a
fundraising
spoof.
song. Okay.
No, we need something funny. We want to hear fucking "We Are the World." No, no, we want something funny. Because this shit is you couldn't you. I want to say you couldn't write this shit, but it's been written before.
So I'm surprised no one's come out with a song called like "My Corona" or something
Because
like that.
that's what I told you that. I
Yeah.
think about that. I think my Sharona, but I put Corona in there
Yeah.
instead. So, anywho, it was, I want to say, last month. I had been watching this ice cream place in Houston. I've been seeing about it on Instagram, and I knew that they were vegan. Not that any of us are vegan. But it's just the different flavors they had. Would have like charcoal, lavender, and just all these really cool mixes. I would see people posting. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm not a really big ice cream person. I could totally do without it. But sometimes I get a craving for it. And I was like, hey, you know what? We're gonna do an outing. Everything was still closed. This place was open. And how long is that drive? Like a 30-minute drive for us?
Yeah, from here to middle to the Heights in Houston,
Yeah.
about 30
About
minutes.
a 30-minute drive. So producer James and I and Skylar, we go up to the place, and the name of the ice creamery is Over the Moon Ice Cream. We park, and then I'm like, oh, it's a weird thing. So you have to walk into one door, and there's a hall, because I guess there's other little suites in there to get to the place, and it's like wasn't big at all. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So we go to the door, and I'm kind of like, is this Over the Moon vegan? And the lady's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, hi. So anywho, I'm like, do we come in here or do we go off to the side? She's like, you can come in here if you want. It keeps on working. Didn't say hello. How can I help you? Now, mind you, okay, people get busy. I get it. There's a chalkboard on the wall with about 500 things written on it. You've got smoothies, acai bowls. I'm like, where are the damn ice cream flavors? Like, what is everything but the ice cream? And so again, this is our first time there, so we're all just kind of looking at each other like, what do we do? And so I asked her, I said, what are the ice cream flavors? The ones that are written right there on the board, rudely. And I was just like, okay. So I kind of whispered to my group, like, okay, she's fucking around.
Whisper is a relative term with you.
It really was a whisper. She couldn't hear me. This girl we had interrupted her whole fucking life. We had run up on her and kicked her in the shin. We had accidentally sneezed on her. That is how she was treating us. Like we were bothering the absolute fuck out of her. Okay, we came in and ruined her whole day. So I said, well, how do we order? And she, in the same annoyed voice, said something. I don't know. At that point, I said, you know what? James, Scholar, y'all can go ahead and place your order. I said, but I'm not eating here. She has a fucking attitude and she's rude. I refuse to spend my money there. And I just walked out. So, like ducklings, they followed me, okay?
Like ducklings.
Yeah. So, that bitch over there gets the bitch please of the week. I don't know if she's an owner or a manager of Over the Moon in Houston, Texas. But she most definitely, if I were the owner, I would not want that person to be representing my business at all. Especially during a trying time like this. Like, what is it to be just a little bit kinder to everyone, you know?
Well, the fact that we got out, we went, to a whole different town, and she wouldn't know this, but
No,
the fact
it
is,
shouldn't matter. You should be
matter,
kind to all of your guests.
Yes.
If I had not spoken to her, I'd still be sitting there waiting on that bitch to say hi. How can I help you? I would still be there. All right, but there was a rainbow to this story because we walked right out, took a left, and there was another ice cream place there, and it is called Sweet Bribery. It is the cutest little shop. It looks more boutique than anything. Oh, but then you get to see what all they have. They have not only these fantastic ice cream flavors like white chocolate raspberry, lemon pie custard, Lucky Charms, but you can also get baked goods. They have cookies. You can do like a cookie sundae, or you can do a cookie sandwich, but you can also mix ice cream with alcohol there.
They sell alcohol.
You can mix it with champagne, rosé, or different other kinds of wines, different beers. I mean, even producer James was able to find one of his nasty tasting ass beers to make a float with, right? What kind did you get?
It was a porter vanilla float. So it was a porter beer with amazingly good vanilla ice cream as a float. And all their stuff, the lady told me,
they have a chef that comes in and does it.
It's handmade, only there.
Yes. The chick who worked there was super nice, just dope. Come, hey, how are you guys doing? If you have any questions, just really, really nice. She put us in a good mood because, first of all, it was nice to be communicating with someone who wasn't a person in the house with us this whole time, but just the human interaction. Oh, but then we got to taste our ice creams. I got white chocolate raspberry with a strawberry jam on top. Producer James got his beer float, and Skylar got Lucky Charms. That was the quietest the three of us have fucking ever been. We actually started speaking in mms. That was it. Just We actually sat outside and ate ice cream, and we're just not eat outside kind of people at all. It was delicious. I mean, I can't describe it. This is not your typical ice cream, your trip to the ice cream place. Not at all. It was couture almost in a way. Like the chef, the flavors. Long story short, I wanted to go again this past weekend for my Mother's Day treat, and so we went there. Same great customer service. They were out of the white chocolate raspberry. They switch out some of their flavors, and I was like, but I drove all the way here for that. She's like, well, can I recommend the lemon pie? Was it lemon pie?
It was lemon icebox.
Icebox, which is basically a lemon pie. She goes, it's my favorite. She goes, I've got it. And I'm like, okay. No, what it was she had the white chocolate raspberry in a pint. And I was like, well, can I just buy that? And then they make their own cones. They make the cones there. It was going to take too long for that to melt, so I just went ahead and got a scoop of the lemon icebox. Oh my God. It was a party in my mouth. It was so good that I actually bought a pint to take home. I think Skylar got, what did she get? Something with lavender in it?
Yeah.
And like you got, I don't know, because once again, we were only speaking
it was so damn good, I don't remember the name.
Yeah, we were speaking in So, if you're in the Houston or surrounding area, you have to check out Sweet Bribery. They are located at 250 West 19th Street in Houston. You can also look them up on Instagram. Believe me, you will thank me for it. Again, I hope you guys had a good Mother's Day. Hope you have a good rest of the week. Remember to wash your hands and, just be a little bit kinder. I've seen some people just say and do some just rude things here lately. So we will catch you guys next week. Bye.
It's the Libra Lounge. The Libra Lounge.